ओम गुरुर् ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णु गुरुर्देवो महेश्वर गुरु साक्षात परब्रह्म तस्मै श्री गुरुवे नमः. हरि ओम तत्सत्. So I will quickly go through the last few slides that we discussed. Uh, so with the journey of decoding mind, I started with questioning our education system, like how our education system is and what all can be improved so that we get the clear idea about what life is all about and not just what the career is all about. So it should be like that. So then we moved on to uh, taking an example of a small child, that how nature is intelligent enough to embed all the important qualities in a human being from a very small age. But as the time passes on, we tend to forget about all those special qualities that we already possess. And even the Shastras, like Patanjali Yoga Sutra, we took an example, is indicating some of those qualities that we should be having. Then we were saying that our hard disk, our brain is already so full that we have to now, to register anything new, we have to struggle hard to erase already the concepts that we have built through time. And then I was also talking about how the Grihastha role will come in future, as we took few examples of Grihastha and Sannyasi. And mostly we were talking about how nature uh, teaches us about small things and qualities of life. We also took example of Lord Dattatreya. I'm not sure if you all got time to read about Dattatreya, but yes, it is very fascinating to know that all his 24 gurus were from nature. So nature was his first guru. And then, yes, we talked about the soul. And the first thing that we discussed is the most important thing in our journey of spirituality or knowing ourselves, is to find a companion, of company of someone, of a satsang of someone who can take us from the darkness to the light, the path of light. And we were talking about not keeping ourselves in a pressure of time, because if we constantly think of that time is running and we have lack of time, then our practice will be hampered, whatever practice we are doing. And then we ended with having a quality of trying to have a quality of a person who can just witness the environment and witness the surrounding, and not getting too much of involved in whatever is happening in the drama of life. So today, namaste all. My name is Vaibhav Singh, and I'm starting this journey with you again with a chapter 2 of Decoding Mind. So if you have any questions, please feel free to ask before I start. If anyone have any questions, I'll be more than happy to discuss on that before I start. So, is there any questions?
Yes, please. Sorry, I wasn't here last time. If you can
Right.
briefly just explain what is Grihastha. If it's a very deep topic, then I'll just follow on from what you say this time.
Yeah, sure. No. Grihastha just means in English is a householder who
Right.
lives in a house and who practices his sadhana, just being within the family and not leaving the family.
Okay, thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Anything else that is not clear? So,
Vaibhav sir, how do you find a soulmate or a companion who would want to give you their time, because they are elite and we are just starting our journey? Who would want to spend time with us except Dr. Neha, of course?
that is a very good question. In my experience, your your inner desire of reaching the self, or to finding that who am I, should be that strong that continuously in your mind you should be thinking on the similar topic day and night. So if our quest is that strong, it will actually not let us sleep. I mean, in a good way, you know. And the nature, as we were discussing, that the nature is so powerful that it starts reading your wishes, what is going strongly within yourself. And the miracle happens that that person or that companion will just come in front of you in some or the other way, and you will be able to recognize them.
Thank you, sir.
So first the fire should be lit within us very strongly. It is the journey starts from self, and we shouldn't be like doubtful about the journey. And then if we start, okay, then there is less chance of finding that companion or that satsang immediately. It will take a long period of time, and then the nature will test you how much faith you have in the nature.
Yeah.
So that's how it actually starts. So it starts
Thank,
from us, uh, Rani ji. It starts from us.
thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. So as my first slide here is saying, and you all are free to question any time in between the slide, and I'll be happy. So I'll just quickly start with the first slide of today, that when we are in a journey of finding that guru or that spiritual company or a mentor, you name that person, that sangha, whatever you say, but never rush in finding that sangha, that person, or a guru, because that is a very special bond which you will be cherishing for your rest of your life. I mean, that bond is something which is beyond the relationship that we have experienced in our day-to-day life. Till date, we have experienced the love from our parents, the love from our partner, the love from our husband, wife, kids, children, etc. But a spiritual relationship is something which is beyond all these relationships that I named. And it is a very, very special feeling to have that kind of relationship or have that kind of bond in one's life. So never ever rush that, okay, if I have read somewhere that the importance of guru or a mentor is so much, or if someone is saying that no, you have to be in a company or with a mentor, then just don't rush yourself. Don't make someone just for the name's sake that you have a guru or you have a mentor, because uh, that bond should be very special. And I must say that you should take your own time to unfold, to see that how the nature unfolds this journey in front of you. And trust me, when that person comes in front of you, then your mind stops thinking and your soul starts speaking. And your soul knows somehow that, yes, this is the person I was looking for. This is the person who will guide me, or this is the person who I can discuss my innermost desires and questions. I can discuss openly with that person. So faith is the most important key with any relationship. And yes, even in this relationship, faith is the only thing that will hold that beauty and that will hold that aura of that relationship strongly. So, for example, in this picture, See how this pet of this guy has so much of faith that he's just following, that dog is just following whatever the master is doing. So that profound faith, it works as a magic. And there is no question here with a pet that whether the water is too deep, whether I know swimming or not, whether my master will leave me after we dive. There is no such question. And that is the beauty of faith. I'm not sure if you all of not easy. So that's why take your time. Don't be in a rush. If you see that your mind is again and again questioning that whether I should go with this person or not, then I must say, then that person may not be your guru. That person may be a friend, just a simple, good friend, but not a spiritual mentor or a guru or a spiritual companion. Because with a spiritual companion, I said, the soul will start speaking and you would know. So in this world, we face two kind of people. One, they are they'll be always, holding you back. One leads to your true self, actually. And when I'm moving this slide or when the slide is appearing in front of you, you you must, I'm not sure, but any flashbacks coming in your mind that okay, the first person who I'm talking about, one leads to your true self. Can you picture that person if there is that person in your life? And while the other pulls you further away, can you imagine those person in your life?
Vaibhav sir, I can imagine being a back for so many people that I can't tell you. Nothing comes to mind when I'm thinking of who has my back. I mean, I've got good friends and mentors, but I see myself as a back for a load of people, and they acknowledge it. I can't see that about someone who's got my back. Bhagwan ka to hai khair.
Oh, very beautifully you have explained that. But you are very lucky and you are very brave that you are the backbone of so many people,
Yes.
and that is the blessings that you have received in this life, that you have that power of holding someone. But can you imagine yourself holding your back?
Yes, sir, I can. I can through my writing. I can. But I can, so to some extent. I think I'm a biggest cheerleader.
You are a
Right,
biggest
Savli?
what?
I'm my
Cheerleader.
biggest cheerleader.
Wow.
जैसे जब the family corrects me, do this, do that, I say, look, leave me alone. I will do what needs to be done in the way it needs to be done. So I don't even listen to many people. I know what I'm doing is I'm doing it the right way. I'm not sure that is right, but
No, what you are saying is a indication that you have already crossed that level where you are seeking for emotional support. Now you yourself are your emotional support.
that I answer.
Yes. So there are different stages in a householder's life. And one crosses that stage. One is always in a stage where, they are looking for someone who can support them when they are in the bad phase, or when no one is supporting them. Actually, there is a hunt inside them that someone should come and guide them. not even support also, but guidance is needed. So
Mhm.
if the guidance is the Paramatma, if the guidance is the God,
Mhm.
then it is the best thing. Okay, then it is an indication that emotionally now you are stable enough that you can manage yourself.
Mhm.
But for someone who is starting this journey, needs a push, little bit push initially. And that is what I'm talking about. That one person leads you to your true self. So who gives you that initial push? So even Raniji, in your life, maybe when you were very small, maybe there was that push from your family background, or maybe
Mhm.
there was push from, from your colleague, or there would be some person who gave you that power, that now you have this power and drive your journey.
Sir, Vaibhav sir, we've had a very good positive upbringing in a very positive atmosphere. And then
Ji.
also at home, we have maintained the same standard. So that is fine. What you're saying, I think I agree with entirely. That coming from a safe, secure background with good education, I mean, I wasn't a good student, but good education,
Ji.
that all helps. It all helps.
It all helps, yes.
It does.
So, uh, yeah, that's what I was talking about. Sorry, I think my screen, I don't know what happened. Yeah.
I will let
So,
someone else take over now.
no, no. Yes. So, even in Bhagavad Gita, in chapter 16, particularly chapter 16 of Bhagavad Gita, is saying that there are two kind of people. One is Asuri and one is Devi. So Asuri is the one who will take you away from your path, and Dev are the one who will take you towards yourself, towards your true self. So few qualities of Asuri has been described in chapter 16 of Bhagavad Gita, and clearly mentioning that how this person behaves, who takes you away from your soul or from your journey. Even the people who are very, very scientific. Sorry, I'm not, pinpointing any scientist here, but very scientific people will always, versus a person who is very spiritual, gets in a, sometimes they get in a, argument, and the spiritual person is trying to explain that how God exists, and the other person, the scientist, by just using his mind, cutting down all the possibilities of a divine energy. So Bhagavad Gita here is simply saying the person who says that this whole world is existing because of a male and a female body, because just because of the reproduction, because that is science, falls under a category of Asuri. So Asuri doesn't mean a person who is bad. Asuri also mean a person who is having lack of faith in the divine or in Paramatma. So hanging around with those people, that company can take you away from your journey. People who are too indulged in just materialistic, uh, uh, materialistic um, parties or whatever,
Pur-
like
Pursuits.
pursuits. Yes. So those people, like walking around and talking with them and having that kind of company, can also take us away from the journey. So while others pull you further away is actually an indication of people who are actually asuri in pravritti, that is clearly explained in chapter 16. So those kind of people, like scientists, or a person who just uses the brain, is very sharp, and kind of an atheist. Okay. always questions that how much time, okay, you meditate for 1 hour, 2 hour, how long you have to meditate to find that divine energy. So here, I took an example of how much time it takes for a scientist or for a scholar to master a subject. So 12 here is like first 12 years of our school. 4 is 4 years of our college system. Plus 2 I have added if you do post graduation. And plus 5 I have added if a person wants to know the subject more and go into a line of PhD. Okay. So if we add these 12 plus 4, 18 plus 2 is 20 plus 5 is 25. So 25 year is just gone in knowing a fraction of that subject. Even a person who has completed his PhD cannot say that I have mastered the subject. That person keeps reading, keeps learning. And here, the subject which we are talking about in a spiritual journey is us, is me. I am sitting as a biggest subject here. The subject is not outside, but to know myself. Who am I? Why do I think like this? Why do I behave like this? Why do I react in particular manner? Why a particular incidents in my life triggers me? What gives me happiness and what makes me low? You know. So that is the biggest question, that why I am behaving all the time in that particular manner. So what is the bigger reason behind that? So here I took this example because if we are giving 25 years and still wants to give more on an external subject, please let us start with giving at least 5 years by not questioning ki kitna time lagega, by just not questioning ki how long this practice has to go on for. When will I know myself? So for a person who has already dedicated some time in their past life, maybe may take less time, but those examples are very less in numbers, very few in numbers. I'm talking about the common people here. No person can achieve it in 3 years. No person can achieve in 5 years, like how our rishis or how few examples says or sets in a book gives us the indication that okay, they achieved in just by meditating for 3 hours and they realized. So those are rare, very rare examples. So there is this person called Malcolm Gladwell. He is a journalist and a public speaker from Canada, and he has popularized this idea of mastering something uh, uh, of any practice of if you give 10,000 hours to that subject. So he has popularized this idea that if you give 10,000 hours to something, then there is a chance that you are moving towards knowing that subject in depth, not as a whole, but in depth. But here the condition is all which matters in this journey is your passion, your strategy, and the quality you give when you are learning that thing. So again, coming back, if we want to learn who am I, and if I'm not passionately doing it, I'm not giving the journey a good quality, or there is no strategy, there is no focus, no agenda, and there is no goal also. So please mark that I am talking here, I'm using this word goal. In this journey, we have to know what we want to achieve. And are we capable of achieving that goal in that set amount of time that I have decided? Suppose I have decided a goal very high, and then I have also decided, no, I want to achieve it in a couple of years. Is it practically possible also? That we have to also think. If we are putting a higher goal, then we have to strategically think that we shouldn't put ourselves in a pressure of time, that instead of becoming happy in walking that journey, we feel stressed out in that journey. And yes, there is always the concept is again coming from Bhagavad Gita of Yog Bhrasht, this concept. And I'm very thankful that this was questioned by Arjun to Lord Krishna, that what happens to a person who is now dedicated his life of finding himself or finding the divine energy and gets deviated in between because of Maya, because Maya keeps us dragging back, keeps us, uh, I mean, it starts testing gets distracted in between, what happens to that person? So the concept here, the Yog Bhrashta, comes in existence, that that person takes another birth and start his or her journey from wherever he or she left. So this gives us a very, very strong base and a hope, okay, that we don't have to start from the scratch. So in this lifetime, whoever in this group can do the self-analysis, that what are their understanding level of spirituality. And if she or he finds that they have at least good understanding, that means that they have worked in their previous life of building those concepts, and those concepts are now carried in this lifetime, and this cycle is moving on. And we should be very happy and give our gratitude to the nature that at least we are moving forward in this journey. So as this whole conversation is mostly focused on practices for householders and not for a sannyasi, because if we all were sannyasi, then we would have known better like what to do, because we would have our gurus. Because to become a sannyasi, it is kind of mandatory to have a guru first. Because in sannyasi's life, a true sannyasi is someone who only interacts with his or her guru and not with the environment. A sannyasi becomes a sannyasi only when he or she knows that this is the person who I should interact, and with no one else. Because the path of sannyasi is very different. It's different from householders. So for a householder, our Shastra says that Nam Jap is the easiest to focus ourselves in, to focus our brain actually. Nam Jap gives a very good result, but Nam Jap takes longer. It takes time. If the faith in that Nam Jap is immense, then it takes less time. But if we have started the journey with less amount of faith within us, then that faith will increase in time. Definitely it will increase. But once you reach that level of that, okay, now I have immense amount of faith in my deity or in that mantra or in particular object, then Naam Jap gives instant results. It starts showing that results. But to reach that point, it takes some time. Contemplation meditation is a very good practice for householders. Taking care of family, because it is the dharma of a householder to take care of the family. And that becomes also the sadhana for that person of a householder. Because if you practice all these things mentioned here, except taking care of the family, then also the journey is incomplete. Because you are already in a karmic debt that you are now a householder. There was some debt that you have to clear off in this lifetime. That's why we all are with someone. There is a bigger reason why a person in my life is my mother or my father or my kids, my children. So clearing that karmic debt is by taking care of them. Clears
But
our karmic debt.
Vaibhav
जी
sir, are
जी
we
हाँ.
not creating a debt if I'm serving my family, or my mother has served me and brought me up? Am I not karmally indebted to her? Have I created something that I need to wipe off or repay or what? क्योंकि
So so according to you, you are saying that you are serving your mother now. You are taking care of your mother, right?
no. My mother took care of me all this time, right?
Okay.
So have I got a karmic bond with her?
No, no, no. So here is your mother took care of you your whole
And
life,
the family, yeah.
right? So there is clear indication that in the previous, I'm not saying this is 100% sure, but the indication, you have to take it as an indication here that in the previous lifetime, she took lot of caring. I mean, you served her a lot. Okay. You served her a lot. Selflessly, you served. And that is the reason that person came in your life as a mother, because a bond between a mother and a child is selfless. So
समझती हूँ.
your previous service was absolutely selfless. And that's why the person chose as you as a child.
In other
So
words,
now,
it's an exchange from lifetime to lifetime. I'm serving my family. I owe them something, so I'm serving
yes,
them. And
yes. So even in this lifetime, if you do lot of selfless service, okay, and this journey continues until we reach, ourself, until we reach the nirvana. And if we continue to take birth, then all
can't hear anything. We can't hear anything.
Sorry, everyone. I think my connection is low here. So, yeah. But am I audible now?
Yes, yes, Vasa.
You keep cutting off in between quite a
Yeah,
few times.
yeah. We missed
Yeah.
quite a.
Actually, I'm sitting in a very remote village at the moment of India. I'm visiting here my grandmother. She's very old. So I thought of visiting her. So I'm really sorry if my connection is weak and somehow there is any trouble that I'm causing.
No, no
Is-
trouble.
Yeah.
That's okay. We can hear you. That's fine. We can hear
No,
you.
yeah, yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. Ji. So I was talking about taking care of the family. It plays a very important role. Uh, Even receiving the care from someone, we are clearing each other's debt. It's not only giving, even receiving. So even in our future, if we take a form of a sannyasi also, but in a form of sannyasi, that person also needs some support, and that support systems is created magically from whatever selfless service that person has given in the previous lifetime comes as a blessing and a support in this lifetime. So that is how the magic happens when we take care of each other. So here the selfless service is also required, because taking care of family is not a selfless service according to our Shastra, because that is our duty. It doesn't fall under the category of selfless service. Suppose I give some amount to my cousin brother, and uh, because when he was in need, I helped him for his education. It will not come as a selfless service. Selfless service is only counted when you have no relation with that person, absolutely no relation. Then only that service is counted in selfless service. So that kind of services should be practiced if if we want to purify our mind. Charity, charity for an organization or for a person who is actually in need, and not just doing charity just for showing off that I'm doing a charity. So
If you're lucky,
charity,
if you're lucky enough to find people like that,
yes.
you should be blessed to get an opportunity to serve people. I think I always believe that you're
Ji,
lucky if you can find people to serve.
Ji, Rani, yes.
Mm.
Charity, don't only take indication that charity is only in the form of financial charity. The biggest charity our Shastra says is Vidya Dan, the charity of education. So even if if you are giving some knowledge to someone, is also coming in a form of charity. Reading keeps us motivated walking in this journey, because we when we read, we get to know a lot of stories from various Ved, that what are the hurdles that will come in our life, and those hurdles are clearly mentioned, and reading those hurdles gives us a clarity, gives us a hope that okay, this all these hurdles are real and that will come, and that are also indicated in our Shastra. So now you get that hope of walking, of continuing that journey. So that what reading does. And yes, satsanga, from our previous discussions, as I have stressed on this satsanga so much, because it is just a very important limb uh, of spiritual journey. So let me give you some examples of from a picture. Okay, that what we all know these theory, but I'm trying here to give it in a pictorial form. Although it is very hard, we say that mostly we have read that a spiritual experience cannot be explained because it is beyond words. A spiritual experience is something which you can't put it in words or in writing. You can't even draw it. But I am still here trying to show, okay, how and how the mind behaves as we start progressing. So here what we can see that there is a different phases of moon, okay, and it keeps on changing. It is a cycle of 28 days and it is never the same. So as an individual, when I look at the sky and I see the moon changing, our astrological system suppose that the moon is mind. Okay. Now think this moon is your mind. And it keeps changing. Can we see the link that yes, our mind also changes every day? And yes, the cycle of the moon is also never the same. It changes every day, every second. And as an individual, when I am looking from outside, I'm looking the moon, the mind, okay, I can see, yes, it changes. Now what I'm showing here is, can you see that phases of moon changing when you land on the moon? No, right? There is no change now. You have now landed on the moon. You have landed on the mind. With constant practice, now you were away from the mind and looking at that the mind is changing, but with the constant practice of focus, what you have created, you have merged yourself with the mind. You have become the mind. You have landed on the mind. Okay. From there, when you land on the moon, what we can see? Earth, which was not previously in this slide, it was not visible because we were standing on the earth. We were thinking, okay, this is me. But actually, what I look like, I only know when I merge with my mind. I can see the earth clearly when I travel away from myself, away from earth, and then only I can get the true picture. So earth is my physical self. Okay. I'm just trying to, show you imaginary how this will feel like, what the Shastra is indicating. Okay. This is the physical self. Now I know that the mind doesn't change. It was only changing because I was thinking that mind is something else. It's away from me. But in this case, I have merged. And now I can clearly see my physical self. Okay. From the moon, what else we can see? We can also see the sun. So the soul, which I have indicated here, is this sun. Okay. So in astrological system, as I said, moon is referred as mind, sun is referred as soul, soul of the body. So standing on the moon now, standing on the mind, merging with the mind, still there is someone who can see all these uh, planets or all the environment. There is someone who is witnessing everything. Okay. There is someone who is, okay, now witnessing that, okay, now the mind is not changing. Okay, now I can see myself as earth and I can see my soul also. So there is this talkative person, there is this talk going still when you are standing on the mind, even when you have merged with the mind, the talk is still going on. Okay. That is what I have termed here as ego. So this person may not be having, it's just an indication that it's having a physical body, but the ego doesn't has any physical body. Okay. It's just there. It's just giving you all the idea. This is this, this is that. Okay. So ego still exists for a person who has able to focus so hard that the mind, they are merged in the mind, but the ego is still not merged. Ego still exists until you leave the moon and you start your spaceship towards the sun, towards the soul. So sun is here soul. Now I have taken an aircraft which is traveling from the moon to the soul, and what will happen if I go closer to the sun? My spaceship will destroy. I will destroy because of the heat of the sun is so much that even if you get in a radius of lakhs of kilometers also, you get burnt. You can't enter there. Not even a soul, not even a mind, nothing can enter there. Okay. Because of the energy of the soul. So there is no physical body, no mind. And when there is no mind, there is no ego. But the only soul exists. And what happens after that? Nothing. Even that sun, which we are talking about, okay, the sun is soul, and moon was mind, and earth was my physical body. Now there is a blank screen. So this is, I tried giving a simple, try to make that example in a picture form, and just the indication is that everything gets dissolved. If I ask where is that salt or where is that sugar now in the water, it is just dissolved. It's not there. So the whole idea is to merge only. Whatever I'm doing in my spiritual journey, the goal is to merge. The practice is to merge. And there shouldn't be I in that whole practice. Whatever practice we will discuss in future, if there is a quest that, okay, I have to do this, I have to do this, I have to reach, okay, you will reach somewhere. But if that changes into that my practice is not for my spiritual growth, but my practice is for the growth of this whole universe, that with my practice, let the whole universe dance in happiness. With my practice, let the clarity get spread in everyone's life. Then you will see there is a very beautiful changes and very beautiful experiences starts happening in our life. When my goal is, okay, I have to do this particular practice because I have to see this particular form, or I have to attain a particular siddhi, or it is for my health. Okay. Even I say when we do yoga, abhyas, even when we do pranayam or any asan, let's also do it for others. With my asan, let someone else's life gets better. So that feeling inside starts giving good results. That's my experience. So there is this small example that I'm taking here. So this sage, his name is sorry, I forgot his name. Yes, Shri Gajanan Ji Maharaj. So Gajanan Ji Maharaj is from western part of India, from Maharashtra. He was born there. And simply, so there are different sages indicating different practices for householder. And his practice was just the practice, the sadhana of Soham sadhana. Just witnessing the breathing going in, the breath going inside and outside, and making a sound of so when you are inhaling and hum when you are exhaling. And that becomes a Soham mantra. Soham is I am that in Sanskrit. That I am that. And that mantra is continuously synchronized with our breathing system. And with that practice, continuous practice of that will do what? It increases your focus, and then with the increase of focus, you land on the mind. Now you have at least achieved that level where your mind is, you can't see your mind changing, but focused. There is no mind different from you. So now you are focused, it's not changing. And then clearly you'll be able to see the earth that is you. At least we can reach there first. Okay. So this is just an example. With any sadhana, the purpose of that sadhana is to first increase the focus and merge with your mind, so that at least you cross this illusion that it is changing all the time. It is only changing once we have not reached in a level where we can land on the moon. We are still looking that mind from, that is something outside. Okay, that is not me, that is the mind. अरे ये तो मैं नहीं हूँ, ये तो mind change हो रहा है, मैं तो कुछ और हूँ, I'm something else. No. So that whole sadhana is to break that illusion. So with this note, I will end my today's slide, but I'm still happy that we can still discuss. We have a couple of more minutes to take more questions, and I would really like to interact with you all, that what your thinking is about, whatever I have said in this journey.
I'll stop the recording so the discussion get much more easy.